Hello, everyone. Welcome to week 3. I cannot believe that the summer is just progressing so quickly. This video is just some observations and just some FYIs to make sure you guys are staying on task with what's left in the semester and what's upcoming. I have graded all of the work for week 2 that has been submitted. I'm really excited to see the volunteer work and the job shadowing experiences that you guys are going through. Some of you have chosen some really interesting sites and work to do, so I look forward to reading about your experiences with that. Make sure at this point you guys are also starting to do the research part of that assignment. So the research part, make sure you review the manual and you understand that there's 2 parts to this assignment. The volunteer work, which is one thing, and you're going to have that documented. And then you also have the research component where you're going to submit that paper in APA style. Week 4, which is the next week, is when you're going to submit the draft of that. So that'll give me the opportunity to look and see what your writing is and to also help you do some tweaking of it. I do realize some of you that HUMS 101 is your very first class here at Ivy Tech, so you may not have taken English 111 yet and you have no idea what APA is. Again, our library page has some wonderful tools there for you for APA. In fact, on the library guide side of that, there are some specific things for human services sectioned off. So I really encourage you to visit our library page and to look and see what the librarians have done. John and Elizabeth, which are local in South Bend and Elkhart, have done a phenomenal job with making sure you guys have the tools there for you to be successful, even if you haven't taken English 111 right now or you're currently enrolled. So looking at my notes to make sure I don't forget to discuss anything with you. So volunteer work, job shadowing, make sure you're getting that work done and up to speed. The discussion board posting, just some reminders about that. So if you're noticing that you're not getting the points that you anticipated on that, remember these are thorough writings, which means you have to address all parts of the prompts, and sometimes you even have to go a little bit more deeper in details. I'm going to use the example of discussion board 3 that's going to be due this week. Remember, your original posts are always due on a Wednesday, and that will give you the opportunity, once everybody's posted on Wednesday, by Sunday you need to do your replies to your classmates. So discussion board 3 is going to deal with child welfare and adolescent services. So there are 2 cases there, and it may be a little difficult for some of you because we're really passionate about our work in this field, but I want you to, first of all, make sure you've read the chapter and you understand what that entails. You need to learn to be as objective as possible, which means removing the feeling component of it. That does not mean you're not a human being, because we all have feelings and emotions, but we are training you to be workers in this field. So to be an effective worker, you have to learn how to work beyond the emotional side of it and to be objective. So look at the facts, read the case, read the chapter, see what this entails. So in your responses, you must be thorough into that. So these cases are, like I said, they're a little difficult, but you can do this, and I have faith that you guys can do this. So just answer it and be thorough in it. When you're replying back to each other as well, too, make sure you're doing so from a professional stance, okay? So we may get some things in here where it may bring out some things for some of you, maybe some work that you're working on yourself, and just remember that that's not your role here in these discussion board posting. It's not my role either as your instructor. So if I see something that may be a trigger for something, I will probably, well, there's not a probably, I will have to address that with you guys in one way, shape, or form. So I talked to you about the research component, talked to you about the discussion board, the exam. So you did have your first exam last week of covering chapters 1 through 4. You have 3 other exams coming up as well too throughout this term. So just some observations about that. Make sure that for the short answer component of the exams that you are answering those as well and thorough. Now, thorough does not mean a full cut and paste of everything that's in that chapter, but you may need to do a synopsis of the work so that you're not spending so much time on the short answers that you can't get to the true false or the multiple choice component. So just kind of gauge your time with that as well too. And remember, exams, you only get one try at them. You don't get multiple tries with those. So once you open it, you have to complete that assessment during that time. Overall, you guys did a really good job with that. So that is an indicator to me that you're doing the reading and that you're prepared for your exam. So continue on the work with that as well too. The discussion board you guys did last week dealt with ethics. Ethics, there are things that we will continue to address throughout the program in human services. There is a course, HUMS 220, that specifically deals with ethical dilemmas and ethical issues in our profession. It's a delicate balancing act when it comes to ethics. So again, sometimes our feelings and our emotions get tied up into it, but we always rely on our standards. Our standards are there for the National Organization of Human Services Workers. So it's very black and white in that we're bound by those ethical guidelines. So but sometimes individuals can interpret those in not quite the fashion for which they have them in there. So I just kind of let you guys know about that. So just be prepared for that because you're going to see more and more ethical situations as you progress throughout your program. So have a great week. I'm looking forward again to getting those research component papers and just seeing how you guys are doing. As always, if issues as things come up, make sure you're emailing and keeping in communication with me, and we're going to work with you as best that we can because we are dedicated to your success. Have a wonderful week. See you soon or hear from you soon. Thanks.